Good evening and welcome to another SQL lesson. Today we are going to be learning about keys and how to add keys to existing tables. Now, keys are a form of integrity constraint, which means that keys set rules for the data in your database. For instance, we have two tables here that don't have keys, and there are some things that we could do that we shouldn't really be able to do. For instance, we could create another row in the patient table that has the same patient ID as a different patient. That's going to cause all kinds of problems when people try to point to your patient ID. Or you could set a row, insert a new row into the admissions table that has a patient ID that doesn't exist in the or in the patient table. So that would be problematic as well. So to prevent these kinds of data integrity issues, we want to add some keys. So first of all, we do this using the alter table command. Add primary key. We want to make sure we specify which table. And we're going to add patient ID as the primary key of patient. So we can do that successfully. Then that will prevent duplicate patients or duplicate rows in the patient table with the same patient ID, because each row in the table has to have a different primary key value. So if we alter the other table to add a foreign key, we can have it point to that patient ID. And we would do this by adding foreign key, patient ID. We have to specify which table that should reference. And that's the patient table. And that is successful as well. And this text will add a foreign key. We refresh it here, we should see, well, this one is a foreign key. And we can double check that by trying to add a row to the admissions table. So admissions ID 999, customer or patient ID 99999. And let's just do a couple nulls for those other lines to see if this will actually let us create an admission with a customer that doesn't exist. And you can see it is conflicted with the foreign key constraint, which means it will not allow you to add a row into admissions with a patient ID that doesn't exist. It references the patient table, also called the parent table in this case. The admissions table with the foreign key is the child table. And it will not allow us to create that. So that's how we create integrity constraints through primary and foreign keys.